รมเลยนะมันไม่วิ่งไปเพราะฉะนั้นทุกอย่างเนี่ยที่เราได้สัมผัสได้เห็นได้ยินเราต้องมาพิจารณาใส่ตนว่าทุกอย่างเนี่ยมันสร้างกับเองตัวเองนะไม่มีใครทำให้คุณได้มีกรรมแบบนี้แล้วมาพิจารณาถ้าจะบอกว่าสมองเสียก็ไม่ใช่ถ้าจะบอกว่าสติไม่ดีก็คิดเอาเองดูมันบังคับไม่อยู่เพราะเรื่องกรรมแต่จิตธรรมชาติของจิตเขารู้นี่แหละมันสำคัญจิตตัวนี้นะถ้าคนเราไม่ไปฝึกหัดเราก็คิดว่าขันธ์ห้าเป็นของเราบางทีเจอแต่ของไม่ดีใจเราก็ไม่ดีแล้วบางทีใจเราเจอของดีก็ดีอกดีใจอย่างที่บางอย่างไม่สมความปรารถนาเราเจอแล้วเราก็ทำไมเป็นอย่างนั้นเนาะนี่แหละมันเป็นกรรมจริงๆสิ่งที่ไม่ดีไม่มีใครอยากจะได้หรอกจะทำยังไงได้เกิดมาเป็นคนเป็นอย่างนี้แล้วก็ต้องยอมรับความจริงเอาไปเป็นเกิดติดข้อคิดมาประดับจิตใจตัวเองว่าเป็นอย่างนั้นทำขึ้นมาแล้วมันเกิดขึ้นมาแล้วก็ต้องดูแลไปไม่เกิน100 ปีเขาเรียกว่าใช้เวรใช้กรรมกันสำคัญมากนะแต่คนส่วนมากพอเจอเหตุการณ์แบบนี้ก็จะเกิดความรำคาญเกิดความปฏิเสธรับไม่ได้แต่ถ้าคนอยู่ในฐานะในเหตุการณ์นั้นคุณจะได้รู้ว่ามันไม่ใช่ง่ายนะดูแลคนประเภทนี้ต้องมีความอดทนต้องมีความอดทนจริงๆเลยว่าต้องรักต้องเอ็นดูเห็นมาเยอะอย่างเงี้ยบางประเภทเขาตีแม่เลยนะสร้างกรรมอะไรก็ไม่รู้แหละแต่นี้ก็ยังดีไม่ตีแม่เราเคยเจอประเภทแบบตีแม่เนี่ยจนแม่เนี่ยบอดช้ำเร็วๆนี่เราก็เห็นที่เมืองไทยเด็กคนหนึ่งเนี่ยเอาหัวเลยโขกพื้นตลอดเลยพอจะเลิกหลายแม่จะทำอะไรก็ไม่รู้จะทำยังไงยิ่งไปห้ามก็ยิ่งโขกหัวแทงสายพื้นโขกจนหัวเนี่ยเละหมดเลยพอคนเขาไปสัมภาษณ์ต้องบอกว่าโอ้โหหัวอกแม่เนาะเราต้องเห็นใจกันนะเพราะฉะนั้นถึงจะบอกว่าคนเราอยู่ในโลกมนุษย์เรานี่เราเจอบางสิ่งบางอย่างก็ต้องเห็นอกเห็นใจกันอย่ามาเกิดความรำคาญเขามาบุญกุศลมาอยู่ตรงไหนเหมือนเหตุการณ์นี้ให้เราฝึกจิตเมตตาจิตสงสารแต่บางคนบางที่เขาจะไม่ชอบก็บอกว่าอันนี้ไม่เคารพนะไม่ใช่นะแต่หลวงพ่อไม่ใช่เอามาเป็นธรรมะเลยแล้วใครเจอไม่ถึง15 นาทีนี่เราก็เกิดความรำคาญขนาดไหนแม่เขาต้องจะอยู่กับเขาทุกวันทุกคืนเนี่ยพวกอย่างเงี้ยจะถึงขนาดไหนเราต้องดูตรงนี้นะอดทนนี่สำคัญมากเหมือนกับชีวิตของเราเนี่ยบางทีเราไปเจอบางสิ่งบางอย่างทำงานทำการเนี่ยแล้วก็ขี้บ่นลำบากอย่างนี้ลำบากอย่างโน้นร้อนมากทำยากไกลมากอย่างเนี่ยเคยคิดดูไหมคนทำถนนเนี่ยเขาเปิดถนนบุกเบิกเนี่ยลำบากขนาดไหนแต่พอเราแค่เดินผ่านเฉยๆเรายังบ่นไกลเลยมาพิจารณาตรงนี้แล้วก็นี่เนี่ยใจคนนะเนาะมันประมาทอยู่เลยมันขี้บ่นไม่มีอดทนมันเป็นอย่างนั้นนะมาพิจารณาเนี่ยบางทีเราก็นั่งรถนั่งไกลๆแล้วมันก็คิดเลยยคนสมัยโบราณมาทำได้ยังไงมันเก่งจริงๆเลยชื่นชมความพยายามของเขาคนเราถ้าเรารู้จักเอาเหตุการณ์ต่างๆมาสอนจิตสอนใจของเราเราจะได้ประโยชน์นะได้กำลังใจต่อสู้กับชีวิตเพื่อจะสร้างความดีของเราไม่จะไปอ่อนแอท้อถอยเราไม่เลยเราต้องพยายามทุกครั้งมันไม่ง่ายหรอกชีวิตเนี่ยมันลำบากเราก็ต้องอดทนสู้เอาพยายามความพยายามตัวนี้เนี่ยสำคัญมากอย่าไปท้ออย่าไปแท้ทุกอย่างถ้าเรามีความขยับนิดๆหน่อยๆก็ถือว่ามีความขยับแล้วดีขึ้นแล้วเหมือนกับสมัยก่อนเราเป็นยังไงเราก็ต้องย้อนดูสมัยก่อนเป็นอย่างนี้ไหมจิตใจเราแย่กว่านี้ไม่ใช่เหรอก่อนเข้าวัดพอเข้าวัดดีขึ้นไหมดีขึ้นเราก็ถือว่าใช้ได้ดีขึ้นถ้าเข้าวัดแล้วมันแย่ลงก็ตัวเองไม่ปฏิบัติเองไม่เกี่ยวกับวัดหรอกให้จำไว้นะพิจารณาNow we human being always we want things to our liking. Like when we see something, we hear something, we feel agitated, we feel frustrated very fast of certain things that we encounter. But have we ever considered people like what is happening now? Why I don't refuse disturb people? We say let them come, it's okay, let them come. This is something very important.It's a form of education, a form of thing to reflect on. Because why? Even we just have an encounter for a short time. Already we feel the frustration, the uneasiness arising from the mind. You can see the farmer should be this and should be that straight away the mind. Can you see a mother's heart? A mother, they have to face a child that is born in this kind of condition, day in, day out, day in, day out. The kind of love, the kind of patience they got to put it in. And this is what? This is patience. This is love, mother's love. And no mother want the child to be like that. But what can they do? They got no choice, already been like that. So they just look after it, look after the child. Like in Thailand recently, there was a case. There was this individual, she got a child, and the child every day smack the head against the floor, every day, whack, just hit. And then the mother don't know what to do. The more you reframe the individual from preventing him to smacking against the more he want to do it until the whole head just full of blood. And the mother just cried, don't know what to do. Now you want to reflect on this type of, you think the mother wants a child to be like that? No, nobody wants, but it's a karma, it's their karma, collective karma. So when it's born, the mother is a great mother. Now, we reflect on ourselves. People like us, we are so healthy, everything so healthy, intact, no default. We must treasure what we have and do all the goodness that we can do for ourselves. And that should be the approach. Instead of indulging with all these unwholesome things. And of course, there's a cause for the individual to be born in this kind of state because of the action, because of the speech, because of the mentality, the mind, the thing. And that is the karma that deprives them to be in this way. So remember, when we encounter with certain things, don't feel agitated or don't feel angry or stupid. No, you must have look the other side. Oh, such a great mother. Oh, such a patient human being. If this thing will be happen to us, how can you take it? So by reflecting on this, then you can learn a lot of things from patience, a lot of things from the love that a mother has towards the child. Like even we are so old now, our mother will forever that we are the baby of the mother. Certain mother so old already, and the son 60, 70 years old, but the mother still say, I want to see my son, I want to see my son. And when they see each other, they're so old already. You can see this kind of thing happening in our society. We should reflect on this, the quality of what? Patience, the quality of love, motherly love. And these are what? Good human value. That's why this is something the Buddha encouraged that if this were lack of kindness, loving kindness, then this world will be a very cruel place to live in. So remember, you should reflect. We should reflect. Everybody should reflect. And after a while, people just calm down and nothing happened. Because why? If everything can be done in a skillful way, because the power of kindness, the power of compassion can calm things down easily. This is something we should take into consideration and put into practice in our daily life. Okay, and that will be the sharing for today. There are 10 kinds of meat that was forbidden to be taken by the Buddhist monk, Theravada monk, and especially raw stuff. Because nowadays a lot of people, they like to offer sometimes Japanese food, raw fish, or lab, lerd, Lab lerd is a kind of lab, Thai dish, which is raw with blood. And some they even put in with, what they call it, the gall, green gallbladder, very bitter, we just pour over it. Well, all these are forbidden because they are raw. Thing that is raw. Monk, we cannot take it, you must cook it. And the condition that we can't take food, animals, if we know these animals is killed and intended for the individual visiting monk. For example, we visit a chicken farm. Like last time I went to visit one of my devotees, and the family owns chicken farm, and they know we just came up from the forest, and the wife Ichima would say, Ajahn, tomorrow we kill some chicken and do roast chicken for you. I say, shit. You cannot eat, straight away cannot eat. First thing, intentionally kill for you. Second thing, you hear or you heard the cry of the animal or you see with your own eye. You cannot take it. When you know, you don't take it. You don't take because it's for you. you're not supposed to take. And the 10 kinds of meat are big animal, like first one elephant, and then followed by bear, followed by lion, tiger, leopard, panthers, followed by horses, dogs, snake, and human being. You're forbidden to take all this kind of meat. Why? Because if you're to relate a human being, it's so cruel to eat a human being. And of course, all beings don't want to be killed. But what to do? And this thing has been put forward by Theravada to the Buddhas in the past, right? That monks should take vegetarian, monks should stay under the tree, monks should be bindabat, go for alms round, and should be fully vegetarian. And the Buddha never agreed. The Buddha said no, because monks should be easily fed, should be easily supported, because not all the lay people will take vegetarians. And some who got a good intention, for example, all these are life experience. When we visited a new place, right, and it's only places like Australia, they don't know. So when they saw someone, they want to help. They are doing meat pie, for example, pastry, meat pie, chicken pie. And they come out so happily want to offer you the food. And what happens? You say that, we cannot take this. We are vegetarian. And you think how these people will feel. They will be very sad. We don't have all this thing. And that's why the Buddha said, monks should be easily fed. What other people eat, what other people take, you take. So long you don't take those 10 forbidden things that has been mentioned earlier, it's okay. And it's very important now. Sometimes you will think, why can't we take? If we are allowed to take all the meat, why can't you take this type of meat? Why? You see, elephant, all these big animals, they are the possessions to the country. They have done goodness to the country. Elephant is used for war, horses used to ferry things, and so forth. And those fierce animals, when the person take the kind of meat, you see, when you sweat or you excrete, your smell will come up from your body, and the animal will attack you. And it's very, very true, because especially snake and dogs. And sometimes, if you go more refined, it's the citta vinyana, that means the consciousness, or so-called spirit of the animals follows you. You may contact, is it true? We don't have scientific? Yes. There's this kind of thing following. Like, for example, a killer who always kill animals, you see, and then his life will be short because of the killing. Why? Because there's a karma committed, and the beings that's been killed, they will bear what? Ill thoughts, revengeful thought, want to kill back. So they'll be after you all the time. That's why people fall sick, and then no reason. They have a lot of problems in their life, right? Because of killing, and they don't know why. And after they stop killing, make a resolutions, they ask for forgiveness for the beings that they've hurt, they have destroyed before, and things will get better, and do a lot of goodness and transfer the merits to them. And this is something which is very, very, you can prove it. Like a person, when you bear that kind of bad thoughts in your mind, how you feel. When the bad thoughts trigger in yourself, anger, you feel uneasy straight away. But if you were to replace it with kindness, thought of forgiveness, it's okay. It's okay. No one don't make mistake. I forgive them. I forgive her. I forgive him. Straight away you can feel the kind of ease. Mentally, you can feel it. And the more you generate thoughts of goodwill, the more you feel happier in your mind. And it's very difficult for a person who don't forgive to have happy life. It's very difficult. Even though they may possess a lot of things, material things, but they're always very, very sad, very unfulfilling, because they dwell all the time in the thought of sadness, the thoughts of the past, remorseful, the thoughts of the war they have been through, the thoughts of the losses they've been, the kind of traumatic kind of experience being through. And that is a very, very painful part in the life of human beings. That's why in Buddhism we were taught to forgive, cultivate thoughts of goodness, cultivate thoughts of goodwill, and meditate a lot. And you will make you more and more forgiving, more and more happier. And this is very, very important for human beings, because every time this thought of unwholesomeness arises in your mind, you start to get hooked up by that thought and start to have conversation with your own thoughts. That person this, that person that, and so forth. And your whole life, whole day will be spoiled because of this one thought moment, that's all. That's why when you talk about one thought moment, you got to have that kind of mindfulness that's strong enough, that is very fast enough to arrest that, you are dwelling in the thoughts of sadness, you are doing the thoughts of uneasiness, doubts, or fear, or whatever kind of thoughts. Then how you develop or you withdraw. Putto. Just tell yourself, okay, thought are thought, I will stay Putto better. Putto, stay with the Buddha will be better. Instead of staying with all this unwholesome thought, which will only distract us and making us mentally drained, we chant Putto, 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 and make your mind strong when you develop Putto. Why? The more you chant, the more your mind will gain strength. The strength comes from what? Mindfulness. Be mindful of an object. Focus on the object. You're mindful of the object, right? Unwavering. And gradually your mind builds up the momentum. Gradually the calmness will develop in you. When the calmness arises, things that you don't know, you start to know. Things you never see, never realize before, you start to, oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, shit, why I like that? Oh, this and all that. And that's a good sign. And the more you practice, the more insight will develop. Vipassana, insight that you should have this kind of approach. And you feel better after that. And the more you do it, the more, this is what we call, the more introvert, you go inwards towards yourself. More of a solving problem in our own mind now. And that should be the approach. This is the right approach. This is how we can solve the problem. We say extinguish the fire within ourselves, not externally. External we can't help, but inside of us we can. Easy. Other people we can't help, but your own problem we can help. If you're yourself, you can extinguish this fire within yourself, then outside no problem. Because why? We just view it as an external problem. We will only advise, and if people follow, good for them. If they don't follow, what can we do? So when we realize this kind of truth, then we say that, yeah, to each his own karma, to each his own action, their own speech, their own development of the mind state, to each their own. And that is very true. And there'll be the sharing. You see, like what we have discussed in the society that we are staying in, the worldly knowledge, the schools and all the colleges, university, what they can provide is only this worldly knowledge. They can enable a person to learn a skill, a knowledge, to fulfill his responsibility in doing his job in the society, to be part of the society, to contribute, so as to earn a rightly livelihood. And of course, in this kind of knowledge, they never teach you how to be kind, what is right and wrong, and all this kind of morality. They don't teach you. It's very rare. And of course, we human beings by nature, human beings are kind, are considerate at certain level. But due to the influence of our greed, hatred, and delusions, and due to our influence and always encourage these three, greed, hatred, and delusion, it will gradually be part of our characters, and we become very, very sort of people that people look at us. Now, in order to offset this thing, we must have morality to control these greed, hatred, delusions. Greed, hatred, delusions. This mind state, right? Through the practicing of a precept, the chanting, to be considerate, and of course, normally we can only address I have this mind state is arising in me. We cannot eradicate, but doesn't mean that we are a bad person because you are not enlightened. You still bear the thoughts, but it's just that we have the control. We don't say it, we don't do it, but we still think of it. We see something we want, we like, we will still think of it, but we know that it's not right. But we won't do it, we won't say it, we know that it's not right. And we still have the control, and this is good. And as time goes by, gradually you acknowledge and you start to question yourself, and you find that you are not denying that you're having this thought, neither you commit what you are thinking. At this stage is good enough. You're not causing problem to other people. At least if you contain within yourself. And from the trainings of precept, from the training of concentration practice, samadhi, we begin to see more and more clearly our mind state. That under certain influence, under certain context, it triggers this kind of mind state. And we begin to see more clearly. And the more we see it more clearly, the more we will find that, okay, this is how I should deal with this mind mindset, this kind of thoughts by thinking the otherwise. Like every time we get angry, we hear certain sound or certain thing. Okay, what should I do next? What should I do next? You must have this kind of mind, be mindful and be able to watch it. When this thought arises, okay, you know that you always have this thought now. How to deal with this thought? It's just a thought. It comes and it goes. But if you never give any, if you never try to deny it, push it away, or refusing this thought from arising, then you find that slowly it loses its impact into the mind, loses its influence. It doesn't arise anymore. But doesn't mean that it doesn't arise, doesn't mean it won't arise, because you don't give any importance to the thoughts, to this kind of thinking. And later, you find more and more easy to practice in the daily practice in your daily life. That, okay. And this is what we call mindfulness, daily mindfulness in our practice. And the most important thing, you got to keep referring back to your body. The most important thing, keep referring back. Because sometimes when you just watch over the mind itself, you can get carried away by the thoughts. And when your mindfulness and your power of samadhi, power of concentration get dissipated, then you will go back to the same mind state that, very troubled mind state again. So you got to keep maintaining your stand all the time. Remember, and of course, for people who pass away long time ago, and because we have certain friendship, we know that, this is my good friend, and certain occasion arises, we have the opportunity, we always think of the goodness we have together and try to spread the thoughts of goodwill to them. We can only wish. What is done cannot be undone. What is damaged, right? It cannot be undone. But we can wish and try to change. It's just as certain people, sometimes they do certain things wrong, but it's already done. But what can be undone is what? Okay, tell yourself, don't do it again, okay? Don't do it again. The same thing. Certain people, we might have offended them in terms of our speech, our action, or we might injure certain beings. And we know after we learn the Dhamma, we know that it's not right. So we feel remorseful, we feel bad about what we have done. So what can we do to offset this kind of mind state is to ask forgiveness. Like, okay, I've done this wrong thing in the past and I know that it's wrong. Okay, we ask forgiveness. Even that beings is not around, it's okay. At the very least, it helps us to relieve this mental stress within ourselves. Okay, and we spread the thoughts of goodwill to all these departed beings, right? And that'll be the sharing for today. Yatha varivaha pura paripurenti sakarang eva meva nito tina petana upakapatit Ichita Badita Duma Kipameva Samichatu Sape Purentu Sankapa Chanto Panara Soyatha Manicho Dira Soyatha Tiya Vivan Chandu Samharo Govina Saduma Devava Vandarayo Sukhi Dikayo Gomava Miwa Tanasile Sanichang Buddha Vajayino Chakaro Dhamma Vakanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Alaya sami pade se kapete vasa parita jatiyo sila vadeta mochetava sanyate brahmacharino yadata devata sunta sadakina madese tapuchita pujayanti marita manayatina Tatonang anukampanti mata putava rasang Dewata nukampito poso satabarani pasati Bhavatu sa pamanggalang rakadu sa badewata Sabha buddha nubhavena sada soti bhavantu te ภาวะตุสาพมังคลังราคะตุสาปเดวตาสัพพธัมมานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเตภาวะตุสาพมังคลังราคะตุสาปเดวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนะสดาโสติภวันตุเต